All right, thanks for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. So do us a favor, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the bell for notifications, and upvote the video itself. Participate in the conversation down below. I'm here with Tom Vanderford for his weekly segment. Last segment before Christmas, Tom. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, everyone. You know, signing day was kind of a mixed bag because I consider Suntarine Perkins to be a generational level recruit for Ole Miss. And that could get lost in the weeds a little bit thanks to Marcel Reed and Neil Avery. But I don't think people need to forget about Perkins. I don't think people need to forget about Ayden Williams. And I don't think people need to forget about Jamarious Brown. So it's kind of a mixed bag where you can be really happy about that part of it and you could be really upset about this part of it. And they're both right.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think, this is just my opinion, but that's what we're all about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Perspectives.
I think, exactly. I think Lane Kiffin treats this whole thing like the NFL. I think he had a certain number of draft picks he was willing to take, and I think he's going to do the rest with what he would call free agency. I don't know if we'll get everybody he wanted to get. I do think that the flirting with Auburn caused some panic with some recruits, not all of them, but with some of them. And obviously, by what happened, a couple of them weren't able to be reassured, or they got better deals, or whatever the case is. Um, in my opinion, you need to sign a quarterback in every class. Uh, Especially in our case right now. I mean, right now, you've got Altmaier transferring, you've got Dent saying he's done, you've got one scholarship quarterback, and a couple of walk ons. That's it. So that's scary. I remember nothing against David Morris. He's a good guy. But I remember, when Roe Miller got hurt right before the Egg Bowl, and all we did was run deuce the whole game, and they stacked the box, and it got really ugly. You have to have some backup there. So my hope is, which this is just my hope, perspectives, right? That Altmaier sees what's out there and decides to stay. That's my hope.
Yeah.
As far as I know, the only place he's visited is Illinois. I don't know that he may have visited more, but I think that's the only P5 school that I'm aware of that he has visited. So now that things are thinner at quarterback, that's something for him to look at. But Marcel Reed, I wanted him.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
really
did
did.
too.
I'm not gonna lie. I wanted the guy. I wanted
He's
the
a good
guy.
player.
He was very impressive. Neo Avery, I wanted him too. But when you look at his weight and height, what you've been talking about us getting maybe thicker guys for those three down line positions. Uh, that I think that we can be better serviced replacing Neo in the portal with a bigger guy. There's a lot of good rush ins out there. Um, I still, I have not heard anything about the tight end from Maryland. I
Yeah.
haven't anyway. I know he visited us. He visited Alabama, and I haven't heard a word. But it would be nice. I'd still like to get that guy. That's a guy that you don't have on your team. You know, that's a he could help us. Um, as far as other gets, Suntarine Perkins is a mixture of Tony Connor and N'Kobe Dean, my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
He is a stud. And like Lane said, he said, "Heck, I might let him run the ball some." He's like you said, he's a generational athlete. Ayden Williams is one of the top receivers in the country. We need him. If we can somehow get Marshall, uh, you know, uh, I think we're helped at the wide receiver spot. I don't think we're done at the wide receiver spot. I think we've got multiple receivers we may attempt to get in the portal. Uh, Jean Baptiste. I watched him play a lot this year because I'm a Plumlee fan.
Mm-hmm.
And, he was a defensive team captain for UCF. He's a good hitter, hard hitter. He looked like he was pretty quick. And he was, I'm going to say about 230. So that's the kind of big linebackers you need with this 3-2-6. Uh, what I love about Perkins is he can play just about anything.
Yeah.
He can play linebacker. He can play box safety. He's actually the perfect box safety.
Yeah.
But it's just, and you don't want to let that. We got a really good legacy commit in Bryson Sanders. We got some good secondary help. The kid from South Georgia and the kid from Texas.
AJ Brown.
We didn't do too. Yeah, we didn't do too bad. But it blows my mind, and we've conversed about this on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
It blows my mind that people are going nuts. He's doing the same thing he did last year. Now, I'll say he may have a harder time with some of them convincing them that he's going to be at Ole Miss for the long haul because of the flirting this year.
Mm-hmm.
But he's doing the same thing he did last year. Last year we didn't know about Troy Brown. We didn't know about Pegues. We didn't know about Ivy. We don't
Jackson
know what's
Dart and Trigg. Yeah.
Jackson Dart and Trigg, very good examples.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know for sure if we were going to get our house running back, and we ended up with two. I think he just approaches this with a different mindset. I got a buddy of mine at work. I'm not busting on state, but he's like, man, y'all paid $9 million for your coach, and we ain't paid half that, and we have a better recruiting class. I'm like, dude, I mean, they may all pan out, but 20 of your 24 signees were 3-stars, man. And I mean, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And there's some of their guys I wanted. I really wanted Kelly bad, man. But after seeing him show out in the Mississippi-Alabama All-Star game. But you just don't get everybody. Some kids want to go to state. Some want to go to Ole Miss. But in my opinion, we got the top 3 players in the state of Mississippi.
Yeah, we
got
absolutely
an awesome edge rusher that showed up and showed out in the Mississippi-Alabama All-Star game. We got the best player on the field in the Mississippi-Alabama All-Star game. And we got an awesome wide receiver who was also, in the Mississippi-Alabama All-Star game. Yeah, everybody in the SEC wanted these 3 guys. And I think people need to understand in the past few years, there was a time when Hugh Freeze and Dan Mullen were at Ole Miss and State that the majority of the Mississippi kids stayed in state. Then there was a time where the high-ranking Mississippi kids went elsewhere. Up until this year, they went to LSU, they went to Alabama, they went somewhere else. But I'm ecstatic with the kids we got. I mean, they're all high motor kids. They're high 3-stars and 4-stars. Now, for the life of me, I can't see why Javante Connor is not a 4-star.
Well, I can tell you why. It's because he moved from Alabama to North Carolina, and he just fell between the cracks.
I believe that. I believe that because when I see him, I see talent.
Yeah.
I see talent. I see somebody that can help us,
He got rated a 3-star because he committed to Ole Miss, because it was an SEC school. Nope. Not because he was evaluated.
Well, that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. That happens, and for people to say it doesn't, these pay services, they're going to cater to the guys, the upper echelon people. But look, here's my argument with that. Look at all the 4 and 5 stars that are transferring from Texas A&M. Mm-hmm. Look at all the 4 and 5 stars that are in the portal from Alabama. Just because somebody gives you a 4th or 5th star doesn't necessarily mean they're correct. The best running back in 2022 as a freshman was obviously our running back, Quinshawn Judkins, in the
And a
whole freaking
3-star.
country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and a 3-star.
Mm-hmm.
A 3-star. So you never know. So, our staff is built to where they can do good evaluations, I think. There's so many people working on film, and it's not like when, and you could answer to this. It's not like when Ed Orgeron was there and he had hardly no recruiting budget at all,
Yeah, and he
and he was
recruited off
just
rivals
killing 2 or
rankings.
3 people.
Yeah.
Huh?
He was recruiting off rivals rankings and what their ankles looked like. Seriously, I'm not even joking about that.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I believe it. I believe it. And we're in a lot better place, and we've got a lot of good people coming back. So as far as all that goes, I'm excited. I'm excited about the Texas Bowl, and I'll tell you why. I was reading about you watching film, and I watched a little bit of their games, and they are extremely disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
They run, like you said, and I'm going to give you credit because you said it, but you're right. They run like a fun high school offense. Their
I saw the
coach
oop
was
de
a
oop.
high
They
school
ran the
graduate in
oop de oop.
Texas. Yeah.
It was
You
like
gotta love
Varsity
stuff
Blues
like
out there.
that. Right,
Yeah.
right. And it's going to be a fun game to watch. I think we have more talent than they do. But I think we had more talent than Arkansas and Mississippi State. And we saw how that went. So,
Yeah, if we play sloppy, they will beat us. And there's no getting around that. I mean, we have to play well.
Yes. We do. We do. I'm thankful that we haven't. One thing that I've noticed this year that's different from last year, you don't see as many opt-outs as last year or the year before. Did you notice that?
Yeah, and you're
all
seeing
the
more
Alabama kids are
opt-ins.
playing.
Yeah, more opt-ins too. More opt-ins, like Will Anderson and all them making a point to do it. I think somebody from it might be Tennessee or somebody else or Clemson in the Orange Bowl. Oh, Byron Young from Tennessee is going to play in the bowl game, and then after that is declaring for the NFL draft. I like to see that. That is good for college football because in the end, college football is what we care about. Nobody cares about any kid that's going to chase an NFL bag. They're caring about their school and their program and the kids that play for their teams. When they choose not to do that, that is going to be a problem for people that care about that school. It's not that they don't care about the kid. They just care about the school more.
Well, I agree. When you like the receiver from Tennessee, I can't think of his name, but he's their best receiver. I think he won the Bolitnikoff Award.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's opting out of the Orange Bowl. And you hate to see that because they need the kid. And I'm just proud that we haven't had any. Of course, we don't really have any number one picks to opt out. But, you look at Ed Mingo's a solid second day pick, and he's had some injury problems. If he was selfish, he could say, hey,
Zach Evans is probably the best player on the team. And Zach Evans, not only hasn't decided whether or not he's going to be back or forth or whatever's going to happen, but if he is going to go to the NFL draft, he was playing in the bowl game regardless. And this is a Texas Bowl. This is a, quote, meaningless bowl game that it obviously means something to him. And I always talk about when people say it's a meaningless bowl game, it's an exhibition. Well, it might be meaningless to Zach Evans. You know who it's not meaningless to? Kincaid Dent. Somebody that this is a memory that they're going to live through the rest of their life. And they're going after their NFL bag is a selfish decision, in my opinion, because of how it affects those middling guys that this is the end of their career. This is how the road ends.
Oh, I completely agree. I completely agree. I don't think Kincaid will come back, but he could. Yeah. He's got another year, but it'll be interesting to see about that. Like I said, I worry about quarterback depth. I'm not worried at all about running back depth.
No, not even a little bit.
Receivers worry me, but it can be fixed. But on defense, man, I mean, all of a sudden we've got some depth at linebacker. you know, and that's nice, nice. So, and I think people forget some of the guys we got last year. You know,
Yeah.
we didn't. Some people are hitting the portal and getting those transfer 5th-year guys, ones and dones. And a lot of the guys we got in the portal, they were sophomores.
Yeah.
You know, and we didn't just get them for 1 year. We got them for to build a team. So
Yeah, potentially 3 years like Trig and Dart.
yeah,
If it builds that, I
exactly,
mean, yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
You get the Gatorade National Player of the Year for 3 years. Yeah, sign me up for that all day long.
Oh, same here. We've never had that.
Yeah.
I mean, the kid was and he's gotten better every game this year. I submit to you that if he would have had all the snaps from the beginning, he would have been really good. We may have won those last 2 games.
Yeah, that quarterback competition charade kind of it bit us at the end. I honestly believe that. Especially against Alabama, because he was almost there. If the Jackson Dart that played against Mississippi State played against Alabama, Ole Miss wins that game.
I completely agree. I completely agree. And we've just I'd still like to get a real center.
Yeah.
Nothing against our 2 guards that played center, but and I will say this that our kid from Nanawaya got better at the end of the year.
Yeah, Caleb got better.
He got better. Yeah, but I would, there's got to be a true center out there. But this is the fun time, though.
Yeah.
Used to, you'd have this big build-up to signing day. It'd be over with. Now it's like the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
You got the portal. You got late signing day. You got all this stuff that's going on. You've got NIL.
Recruiting is the jelly of the month club.
Giving to NIL. Sir?
Recruiting is the jelly of the month club.
Oh, yeah.
It's the gift that keeps giving the whole year round.
That's true. Just had to get that Christmas vacation.
Yeah, exactly. We're getting ready for Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, thanks for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen today. For your second listen today, check out Locked On Sports Today. From the games that matter the most to the biggest stories in sports, go beyond the scoreboard and behind the scenes with the local experts and insights only Locked On can provide. Locked On Sports Today, available on this app, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. Tom, I want to wish everybody, you and yours, a Merry Christmas. I hope everybody gets through well. I hope your next checkup goes really well, all of that stuff. And maybe we can get a win next week in the Texas Bowl. And, next week I'm going to be busy like crazy, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, can't wait. And, hey, to you and yours and to everybody out there, y'all have a Merry Christmas. And remember the reason for the season, man.
That's right.
Y'all have a good one.
All right. Merry Christmas, everyone.